Hello and welcome back to episode 30 of Control. I'm Vic and you're watching yet another Let's Play channel. And we have a very old computer to talk to.
Effective immediately. I'm setting up a new department. Dimensional research in the research sector. Transferring the slide projector there. That's where my focus will be now. The ordinary site remains as is. We'll be back to... I don't know when.
Darling took the projector to the research sector. He dedicated a whole area to it, so he knew it was important. Dimensional research. That's where we go next.
Yeah, judging from his state, I would say he had a pretty good idea. Just how important the slide projector was. So I just selected a mission, or accepted a mission, without really thinking about what it was. A dark place. Sector elevator. I like the sound of that. And, okay, yeah. Dark place looks like a side mission. Maybe we'll finally get to go to the hinted at investigation sector. Back here again. Angry Cloud is still angry. Can I go to Sterling Avenue right now? Apparently not. Alright, I'm not gonna spend a bunch of time beating my head against the wall right now, because I have a feeling that head beatings are coming. Right, we need to get to the sector elevator, so why not go via the Central Executive, where we know it's close to a warp point.
Good luck out there.
Okay.
Darkness engulfed the elevator. There was something there.
Wake?
Reaching for her. Trying to make her act.
Alan Wake?
It was a distress call. Faden sensed a drowning man. A hunger in the dark. Investigation sector.
Hey.
Investigation sector, huh? We should check this out.
Is Alan Wake writing this story? Alrighty.
Hello? Anyone here?
Guess not.
Mr. Kirkland, here are latest agents confirmed missing, presumed dead from the containment breach yesterday. Letters of condolence will be delivered to you to sign prior to sending them to their families. You will be updated as soon as additional confirmations are made. Also, per your request, a network engineer checked how many cases were backed up digitally. Unfortunately, a large number of active investigations were not archived yet, and the only hard copies of reports exist behind the firebreak. They're lost, I'm afraid. So...
A lot more crowded than the rest of the Bureau.
And there's a firebreak over there. This sector was lost. Note miscommunication led to a local coroner examining the body of William Burrow. Case summary: 33-year-old man found dead on his property, per police report. Remains obtained for coroner's office also include blood, urine, bile, stomach contents, and bone fragments. Autopsy findings: blunt force injuries head, lacerations left ear cheek, blunt force injuries extremities, dislocation right knee, complete avulsion of the right upper extremity with associated fracture of the proximal right humerus, complete avulsion, extensive trauma abdominal region, complete avulsion of multiple organs, including stomach, heart, liver, pancreas, kidneys, and portions of the large and small intestine, all missing from scene. Conclusion: it is my opinion that Mr. Burroughs' death is not the result of a mechanical accident as claimed by the authorities. The removal of organs is consistent with animal attack. To whom it may concern, it is with great anger and regret that I tender my resignation as head of investigations for the Federal Bureau of Control. I do this in protest of the rampant disregard for my department's redacted. My staff cannot continue to work in these conditions. Previous requests and warnings have fallen on deaf ears, so I must now rely on my actions to speak louder than my words ever could. I blame this situation on our redacted, who has routinely ignored my requests for assistance in reclaiming the parts of the investigations sector lost to the redacted loose inside. I will never forget the screams of brave agents begging for us to open that firebreak. I will carry that shame for the rest of my days. The redacted has failed his agents. I shall never forgive him for that. William Kirkland. Obviously, it's the director that he blames and shall not forgive. Mr. Dennis, so yes, there's an increase in AWE cases, and yes, it would be a good idea to put together a special task force to determine exactly why that is. However, it seems that a tiny little detail has slipped through the cracks. We don't have the damn staff. If you expect us to detect, investigate, and process more AWE cases, you need to give us more people. It's simple math. Between the staff we lost in the Hartman thing and the ones who left for other departments after Kirkland quit, we're barely managing to keep up with the workload. Hell, just filing the paperwork for all the altered items we left behind in the sector has been an ordeal. Another thing, and this is going to sound paradoxical, but we have an overcrowding situation. This lobby isn't meant to accommodate a whole sector's worth of staff. We put forward a motion to move investigations to a more suitable location months ago. It better not be sitting on your desk. The people are getting restless, and as Kirkland's interim replacement, it's your job to handle it. So these guys were besieged in the lobby of their sector, it sounds like. What else we got? Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, Internal Investigation D84-5 was launched into the ethical practices of Dr. Casper Darling, head of research. Despite the accounts of anonymous redacted regarding inhumane treatment of a redacted currently housed in the Bureau, our official findings regarding this were inconclusive. Numerous obstacles arose during this investigation. The majority of redacted sector personnel seemed to be wholly unaware of any such redacted contained there. One redacted confirmed the redacted's code name to be redacted, but all files pertaining to that name were inaccessible, being classified under the highest clearance level. Investigators were similarly blocked from entering the redacted research wing to interview its staff. The matter was further complicated by the lack of clarity on whether non-human paranatural entities warrant humane treatment. While this investigation cannot address any charges against Dr. Darling, we do recommend an investigation into redacted research. Mr. Dennis, a request came through recently from an FBI agent asking for all our files on Bright Falls, specifically on the disappearance of the author, Alan Wake. Per the Interagency Information Exchange Agreement, I had some paper pushers gather up a folder of all the pre-approved files. Don't worry, all the quote-unquote inappropriate material is either missing or redacted. But I'm writing to let you know that we received this request from a special agent named Alex Casey. Sounds familiar, right? That's because Alex Casey is the name of the fictional detective in those hard-boiled crime books Alan Wake wrote. Pretty interesting that an FBI agent sharing a name with the most famous character Wake wrote is looking into a case dealing with the writer's fiction coming true. I think this is worth looking into, but what's your opinion? Just give the word and I'll start surveillance on this guy. We got a Stephen King author entering the story kind of situation going on, sounds like. Oh. To Chief Investigator Dennis, it happened again. Third time this year. Something certainly has it out for our redacted. Could be raccoons. The locals certainly complain about them enough, but why the hell would raccoons keep going after a monitoring station? Doesn't add up. Anyway, I've got a bureau tech going to the site next week to take a look. Next on the list of recurring problems is the staff at the Lake House Research Station. How am I supposed to effectively keep an eye on Redacted Lake if they won't let me see any data? Hell, I don't even know what they're researching out there. We need to petition them again to share their info with investigations agents. It's only a matter of time before this redacted hits again, and I want to be prepared. Anyway, if anyone at HQ asks why the Bright Falls report is a little thin this month, tell them it's because we couldn't take any readings. In the meantime, I might invest in some raccoon traps. I am having a little bit of trouble keeping the various storylines straight here. I'll talk to you in a minute, Danielle. Dr. Raya Underhill is a professor at the University of Woodrow in the United Kingdom, where she teaches biology with a focus on botany. Dr. Underhill once worked with the Bureau as a parabotanist stationed in the research sector of the oldest house. She served with no incidents or demerits and is praised by those who formerly worked under her, including Dr. Darling. Dr. Underhill has no known connections to paracriminal organizations or any record of her breaching her NDAs since leaving the Bureau. Her civilian behavior has been ideal, with the exception of an ongoing personal relationship with Dr. Darling that appears to have begun during their time as co-workers in the research sector, and revisited intermittently ever since. Depending on the duration of her work in the oldest house, it may be required to have both parties sign a relationship clearance form. This investigation has found no compelling reason to deny Dr. Darling's request to offer Dr. Underhill an interim position with the aim of finding a solution to the mold threshold issue. Does sound a bit conflict of interest-y. A bit inappropriate relationship-y, maybe. Kirkland, I'm growing tired of your blatant attempts to lay your incompetence at my doorstep. I know you want this to be true, but you are head of investigations. This failure is your responsibility. What did you think would happen holding a dangerous specimen in investigations? The containment sector exists for a reason. They are better trained and better equipped for this type of work. In fact, they have admirably taken on certain AWE monitoring responsibilities that your staff is no longer capable of. This happens more and more now. And don't think your petty internal investigations have gone past my notice. You are a worm. Everything I've done has been for the benefit of the Bureau. The Prime Candidate program only failed because of Darling. You are both failures plotting against me. You are traitors, but the truth will emerge out of you. You are choosing to become my enemy, Kirkland. You don't want to be. Well, that's starting to sound like a pretty significant internal conflict. Kirkland obviously did not succeed. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, Redacted was launched into the Redacted of Director Zachariah Trench. A recent change in Redacted witnessed in Director Trench, including aggressive Redacted when redacted with other staff, has been observed. However, this investigation is aimed at interpreting this issue rather than proving it. Notable Redacted between Director Trench and Dr. Darling has been witnessed by numerous Bureau staff. Although both declined to meet for an interview on the matter, witness accounts suggest their arguments center around the Dimensional Research Wing and the Redacted kept inside. However, no evidence exists to confirm Director Trench's Redacted as anything more than interpersonal disagreements. This investigation has concluded that Director Trench's behavior is not indicative of any Redacted and that his fitness to lead is not in question. Refer to file Redacted for a full report. Okay. Did I go up here? Oh, it's blocked off. All right. So let's head for the fire break.
It's not working.
Of course it's
Probably
not.
a loose power core somewhere.
Come here, you. Where does it mount? No? Is that not what I'm doing? Okay. We could do that too. I'll put the other power core back so I don't forget. Alright. Mr. Kirkland, we stopped at Keystone on our way to the target AWE like you asked. I'm sending my report directly to you to try and keep a lid on this Grumman Morales desertion issue. We didn't find any sign of them there. Given their records, it's possible they've switched teams like you suspected, but I don't think that's the case. An event definitely occurred here in Keystone, and I think Grumman and Morales got caught up in it. The entire population has vanished into thin air. Reminds me of the Ordinary case, but that was just the adults, and if I'm remembering the file just the adults, if I'm remembering the file correctly. This is different. I think our guys are casualties, not traitors. If it was an AWE, it seems to be over. We walked through the whole town, and the only strange thing we noticed were markings on various buildings. 2 overlapping circles with a dot in the shared space. Could be unrelated. I'll show you the pictures when I get back. In the meantime, you should send a team out there to cordon this place off and maybe get the comms guys working on a cover story. 2 overlapping circles with a dot in the shared space. I believe I've seen that symbol somewhere. Item is not in Bureau custody. None known. A Frank Elk tractor, olive green, dried blood on the grill when last seen. Item is capable of vocalized responses, or growls, and unmanned locomotion, considered highly aggressive and dangerous. The item first came to the Bureau's attention after the death of William Burrow, owner of Burrow Farm outside of Trenton, Texas. Local authorities arrived on scene after an employee found the mutilated body of Mr. Burrow beneath his tractor. Police arrived but were immediately driven away by the tractor. Panicked calls to federal authorities were interrupted by Bureau communications staff. A team was dispatched. Upon arrival, the agents approached the item. It responded by growling like a bear. 3 agents were injured when they tried to detain the item, which escaped. Aerial searches for the item are ongoing. Speaking to Mrs. Burrow only revealed that she had a domestic altercation with Mr. Burrow earlier the night of the incident. Whether these events are connected is currently unknown. Did I have to bring the damn thing up here? I did. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, internal investigation P-142-9 was launched into the legality of the Prime Candidate Program, redacted, by the Federal Bureau of Control. Since all known subjects relevant to the investigation used executive privilege to decline interviews, very little first-hand information was gathered. However, anonymous sources and documentation declassified by Mr. Kirkland both paint an alarmingly clear picture of systematic redacted and redacted. Redacted were brought into the oldest house and placed under redacted examination and testing, with the aim of appointing one as director upon maturity. This program has produced no useful cases and only resulted in the traumatic redacted of paranaturally inclined redacted. Not only is this in breach of the Ash Act, but it flies in the face of basic human redacted. This investigation unequivocally redacted the Prime Candidate Program and recommends that it be redacted immediately. Well, that is quite clear. And might explain why our brother is so unhappy. There we go. Alright.
Now that gate should open.
And it also answers my earlier question about whether directors have often been selected by the Prime Candidate Program. I wonder if Trench is the first director. The Bureau of Control is starting to feel like the stories that one reads about the fledgling FBI. The purpose of internal investigation X-39-7 is to examine the containment failure of specimen SI-1 that resulted in the deaths of redacted agents. An inspection report of the containment equipment 3 days earlier showed no faults. Investigators suspect human error to be the cause, yet no department has provided any evidence to support this. Technicians were able to recover the researchers' notes on the specimen from the internal network. On the redacted of redacted, the specimen began displaying a sharp increase in aggressive redacted. Cross-referencing that date with various logs found only 2 events inconsistent with the sector's daily routine. 1, the air filters were changed, and 2, an hour prior to the incident, a civilian named Alice Redacted entered the sector regarding an unrelated investigation. Given their connection to the same AWE case, it is likely that Mrs. Redacted's presence is relevant to the specimen's escape and to the redacted. Investigation is ongoing. Is it the tractor? Or is it something else? Control point. Thank you very much.
I'm no detective, but something definitely happened here.
Jesse, it would be hard to say that there's any place around here that something didn't happen. The Blessed Organization. This group or individual has operated outside the Bureau's notice for decades, perhaps longer, displaying a level of skill and caution rarely seen in paracriminal groups. A review of past cases has found various mentions of their activity over the years. In 2016, a production company called Blessed Pictures was connected to an altered item case, as well as the death of an agent from exposure to illicit paranatural materials. In 1994, a Los Angeles-based public speaker named Chester Bless was involved in the illegal use of an altered item. In 1998, a business called Blessed Repair and Service was suspected of involvement with an object of power case, perhaps even creating it. None of these businesses or individuals have ever been located. However, their connection to appearances of altered items and objects of power is too direct to be considered circumstantial. An arrest order has been issued for any persons believed to be involved with the Blessed Organization. Let's do it. to 3.
Do we know each other?
Huh.
This feels familiar. I can't seem to... I've forgotten it. I'm sorry. My name is Alan Wake. Who are you? Who are you? Do I know you?
I'm your friend Tom. Tom Zane. There's nothing to worry about.
Tom. The poet. The diver. You look different.
That was just a role. A character. The protagonist I played in my old film. I'm a filmmaker. An auteur like yourself. We're working on this together, remember? An artistic collaboration. You need a drink. Yippish.
Endless darkness. Nothing holds still.
We're very close now. You've been writing. You found a way to escape. It'll work this time.
Riding.
You found a way!
No. I don't... Wait. There's something. It's my double. He's out there. I've seen him.
Yeah. Nothing to worry about yet. I'm dealing with it. It's fine, my friend. Let me handle him.
You've met him? What the hell?
Now, come on. You misunderstand me.
Well.
That was Alan Wake, the writer who went missing in that AWE case I read about.
And he was
What's he
having
doing
a
here?
real weird time.
And Thomas Zane was with him. The poet. No, wait. He was a filmmaker. I always remember that wrong.
2 circles with a dot in the overlapping space. I knew I'd seen it. Okay, so what do we got? What do we got in the puzzle rooms today? All closed for now? Looks like it might be night outside the place. That's a very loud snack machine. It's a bit different this time. Alright, we got 2 open doors. Now what? Can't ring the bell again. Oh. Things are getting markedly stranger around here.
Dr. Emil Hartman, devoured by hungry darkness, became the thing that had been Hartman. Broke loose, killed everyone it could, lurking, roaming, waiting. Then something else came, a resonance. The thing that had been Hartman went through another change.
I like the sound of your story, Alan. And I have not played that game. We might have to go hit that one after we're done here. 1, 2, 3. And off we go to the bad place. Wow, the bridge is shattered. And there's an angry cloud over there. Can I get over there? Can I levitate that far? Is it a good idea? Oh, I have to. Because that door doesn't look very open-y. Yeah. We're not going that way. Alright, angry cloud it is. Nope, not playing with you. We'll just keep on going. Oh, is Ahti here? Maybe he is. But
Creepy, damp, and abandoned. Why
my
did Wake want me to come
favorite.
here?
Well, Jesse, we're going to have to answer that question next time because we are out of time for today. So come back and see me again for episode 31 of Control, where we will delve deeply into the mysteries of the abandoned investigation center. Talk to you soon.